some real questions and real faith. This is Faith Unfiltered. With your hosts, Mike and Michele.
Welcome to Faith Unfiltered. I'm Michele.
I'm Mike.
Here on Faith Unfiltered, we talk honestly and about faith. The questions people really ask and the things that we don't always get time to unpack. And today, we are going to discuss Lent. It happens every year like clockwork. You walk into that coffee shop on a Wednesday in February and maybe early March. And you see someone with a dark smudge on their forehead. And for a split second, you think, should I tell them?
Yep. And then you realize, oh yeah, it's time of year ago already.
The season of fish sandwiches and giving up chocolate.
And make sure everyone knows you gave up chocolate.
Exactly. And collectively remembering that we are, in fact, dust. But for a lot of people, Lent can feel like this strange endurance test, like a spiritual marathon, where the goal is just to make it to Easter without eating a single cookie. Is that what it's supposed to be about?
No, that's not what it's supposed to be about. And if it was, then we'd all be washed up by day 3.
Day 3 is being generous, I think.
Yeah, Friday, but that's just between us, okay?
So let's start at the beginning. If Lent isn't a self-improvement project or a holy diet, what is it actually about?
Well, at its core, it's a season of preparation. And, let's face it, it's really one of the most radical countercultural things a person can do this day and age.
Well, radical feels right because on the surface, Lent looks kind of grim, ashes, fasting, and penance. What are we preparing for?
Well, we're prepared for Easter. We're prepared for the resurrection. The resurrection really is cornerstone of our faith. And, if I may, I don't have any Latin for my Latin fans out there today, but the word Lent comes from the Old English word "leciten," which means to lengthen. And what's going on this time of year? The days are lengthening. So, I don't have any Latin for you, but a little Old English, something.
Which is interesting because visually, Lent doesn't feel very spring-like.
It doesn't.
No.
Purple, desert, ashes, but you think about it, spring doesn't start with just there's flowers everywhere. No. See, first we have to have a thaw. And the thaw leads to mud. And the mud leads to the husband bringing mud into the room and getting yelled at by the wife. But mud is what brings us to that big field of flowers.
So Lent is basically a spiritual mud season is what you're saying.
Perfect. It's exactly what it is. The point of fasting or giving something up isn't so we can suffer just for the sake of suffering. We give up something to make room in our hearts, inside us, to make room for God.
Okay. So the number 40 keeps showing up everywhere in Scripture. Why 40 days?
Now, when you see a scriptural 40, it usually has something revolving around a transformation or a test.
Okay, so can you give us a few examples?
Yeah, sure. Let's a few easy examples. So we have 40 days and 40 nights of rain. Noah and family floating around on a little boat. Great flood. That's a huge transformation. Cooped up with all those stinky animals. It's a pretty big test, I would say. All right. And, Moses leads his people out of Israel in the Exodus. It takes them how long to get to the promised land?
40 years.
40 again. During this time, he goes up on Mount Sinai, receives the 10 Commandments, and he's gone for 40 days. And very appropriate to this time of year, before starting his public ministry, Jesus takes it upon himself to go out in the desert and fast for 40 days.
So Lent is stepping into desert with him also.
Oh, exactly.
Okay.
Very good.
All right. Now the calendar question. Ash Wednesday to Easter Sunday is 46 days. So what's going on?
Yeah, a lot of people like to tease and say, hey, you Catholics can't count. You must have run out of fingers. It's not that the church can't count. what's going on is they don't understand what it is the church is counting.
Can you explain that for us?
Sure. You see, Lent is 40 days of penance, but Sundays are always feast days. They're a celebration of the resurrection. As I mentioned the resurrection just a little while ago. I'm keeping notes. And you don't fast on a feast day. Say that 5 times quickly.
So Sundays don't count.
Correct. So 6 Sundays in Lent, 46 minus 6 is 40. There you go.
So chocolate on Sunday?
Technically, yes, but most people just find it easier for consistency to maintain their fast. And remember, the church isn't trying to break you. They're trying to sustain you.
Okay, so now that we got that covered, Ash Wednesday draws people in every year. Why do you think that is?
Now, I think it's one of the few times in this day and age where you have a moment of brutal honesty. See, when someone will look you right in the eyes and say, you are dust.
Sounds almost morbid.
It does, doesn't it? But it's also freeing. And remember, the ashes that we get put on our forehead, they come from burning the palms that we carry into church on Palm Sunday. It's a big circular connection with things. And we wear them, why? To remember just how quickly our enthusiasm, sometimes our attention fades away.
And that honestly leads us to the 3 pillars of Lent: prayer, fasting, and almsgiving. Why those 3 together?
Well, together, they really represent every relationship we have in our life. Fasting reorders our desires. Almsgiving opens our hands to the poor. But prayer opens our hearts to God.
So Lent is not about perfection.
It's not about perfection, it's about direction.
And if you mess up on day 3,
just start again. It's okay, man.
That is the heart of Lent: honest faith, practice, and moving towards resurrection.
And that is what Faith Unfiltered is all about.
Thanks for being part of our conversation.
We'll see you next time.